The panel will consist of Gloria, Mutyaba, who's from an organization, Freedom in Rome, Uganda, and Nomathamsanqa, Mhlakaza, who's an interdisciplinary artist from South Africa. You saw her perform with Obasbeko last night at the performance piece at the opening last night. Afterwards, I should just mention we're going into parallel sessions. Yes. So we're going to be using the downstairs venue and this one, so just check your schedules, which one you want to attend. Thank you very much.
Should I start?
Yes.
Yes. Hello everybody. My name is Parvin, Ardalan, as you mentioned, and a feminist activist. Originally from Iran, but living in Malmö, Sweden. It's about 9 years that I'm in Sweden. And I told to Fredrik, after 8 years, it was the first time that I saw the sun above my head, and it was reminded me, Tehran, my city of born. And South Africa is really many things that, as a reminder, is good. First of all, before I start the panel, should explain that as an outsider and insider, I have to explain something because it was supposed I be the panel, not as a moderator. But now it's changed because of the condition of the panel, so now I'm as a moderator. And it's a little difficult because it's difficult to be as a moderator from other continents, so to then come and discuss about Africa. So I just wanted to say that, first of all, apologize for that. But in the second part is that I'm connected with the field because as an activist and I have worked in my country. And then in a social, interactive and intersectional form I have worked, and then I have continued with that in Malmö, with interdisciplinary arts, with other groups, the Museum of Movement, and now I'm a part of the Museum of Movement in the city of Malmö. So in somehow I'm a little connected with this subject, but I just wanted to mention at the beginning. And it's a great honor for me to be in the panel with two great artists and activists. And I would like just to give the panel to them. And first of all, thank you so much for yesterday, because it was a very inspiring work and a very interdisciplinary work that it was created by Opa and also Temi. Because for me it was like a feminist intervention, feminist statement, and it shows that how intersectional activity and interdisciplinary art we need for this kind of area and safe area that we are going to create. And I'm so happy that the first start was in this brilliant work that Temi and Opa made it. And now I would like to just back to the question about the theme of the panel. And we discussed a little about that, how we should work on that. First of all, we would like to listen to Temi and Gloria, about the experience first, what do they do, and then we gradually discuss about the risk and challenges that they have. Which one you start?
I'm a last born, so I usually want to go last. So my name is Gloria Mutyaba. I'm a queer feminist. I'm based in Uganda. I'm a journalist that has never practiced. Is my microphone okay? I'm a journalist that has never practiced, and back home I'm an activist, and I activate around LGBT rights. So I am currently a deputy director of an organization called Freedom and Love Uganda, which is an LBQ, women's rights organization, but also the first organization in Uganda that organized around sexual orientation and gender identity. And as part of the work that we do, we use a lot of creative expression to just engage the public about discrimination and violence that LGBT people face. And though I'm not practicing, I love inspiring people. So some of the things we do, we use art, we dance. I'm a very good storyteller, so I mentor young women to be able to tell their stories for social change. In this era of social media, we use a lot of visual art and writing to just share stories of discrimination, but also figure out ways to hold people accountable for violation of LGBT. In a nutshell, that's what I do. Maybe something also important for me to mention is I sit on the board of a network called the Coalition of African Lesbians, which is like a pan-African network of organizations that are organizing around LGBTQ women's rights. And I got onto the board last year, but just the intensity of the journey that I am holding right now is very important to me because it has given me a space to be able to engage at a level that is different from the community and the country and more on like a global level. Thank you. I will hand over.
I will try to speak without the mic. Can you hear me at the back?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yes, my name is Tammy and I am an artist, a qualified artist from Johannesburg, like Parvin has said. So, unlike Gloria over here, who seems to be doing so many great things, you know, well, I basically use my work to speak out against issues that have been affecting young women that I've been exposed to and that I've had the pleasure of walking the same journey with in my communities. I was born and bred in Soweto, that's in Johannesburg. And yeah, since my varsity days, I was also part of quite a lot of protests. But then when I moved into the arts, then I used my work to speak out against social ills as opposed to be involved in marches. So yeah, that's what my work speaks for itself.
When it comes to the gender-based violence, and both of you have been connected with different issues, is that, of course, in Africa and then we have this experience also in other countries. But I would like to know that more, in which topic you are more faced in Africa, and then what is the challenges that women have first, and then as an artist and as an activist, you are facing with that. Gloria.
So speaking for Uganda, the context in which I organize, a lot of violence against women still happens, and a lot of it comes from the fact that religion and culture play a very big role. So it's an everyday thing for women to be violated. But also speaking as a queer woman, my experience of violence is quite different. Because for me, I face multiple forms of violence. First, because I'm a woman, and worse, because I'm a queer woman. And it just, the irony of it is some of the violence even comes from women. Because, they feel I am not qualified to be woman enough, or I do not fit into the description of what they raised them to identify a woman as. And our media, for instance, in my country, a lot of what happens or a lot of information back home is spread through media. And it has been a disadvantage to us as LGBT people in Uganda, because now the media is used to just instigate and promote a lot of hate. You'll see things like outing of LGBT people in the media, pictures of them put in their addresses, their workplaces. Sometimes mainstream media like television stations and radio stations are utilized by Christian fundamentalists or politicians to use LGBT people as political capital to win like favors from their voters or to expand the impact of their church by just, spreading hate. And so it's usually one-sided, because one of the struggles we have is if it is media that is used to promote hate, how are we also going to be able to utilize the same media to counter that? And that is hard. Like, it's really, really hard. And just to share background of what is happening right now. So from October until now, there have been a series of TV interviews and articles from politicians, because elections are coming up, so they're trying to secure votes to stay in office. And so they'll say things like, if you vote me again in power, or if you reinstate me, I will whip homosexuality out of the country, or I will bring a law that criminalizes homosexuality. So we have an ethics minister that just came to TV and said his predecessor is taking leave from Parliament to draft a new law. There was a law that was nullified, a new law. So he was calling upon the general public to support him. And because of the impact of what is said on media, so when he said it, other people picked it up. So bloggers were blogging about it, social media was spreading it, and at home, when they hear such an interview, for them it's instant attack. So the period that followed from the time all that coverage was going around, there were very many attacks against LGBT people. An LGBT shelter was raided by civilians who wanted to set it on fire. So we called police to come and stop the situation, and the police arrests the people in the safe house. And they are taken and forced to undergo annual examinations, because our country is shitty. And the period from October up to now, there's a lot of violations that are happening. There's a lot of arrests. As I speak now, I think 2 weeks ago, a popular guest spot was raided and around 125 people were arrested because they were drinking and partying. And when they arrested them, the police claimed that they had narcotics. Many of them young people who don't even have narcotics. And so they were detained. After 48 hours, they were taken to prison, and they had to go undergo trial. And when we came to court on Monday, they had changed the charge to their public nuisance. But they were arrested in a private, closed space. And because we are trying to do research right now, but when you hear the experiences of what has happened to the LGBT people that were detained, it's horrible how they're treated. They're not even tried, but how they're treated in the prisons. Their hair has been cut off. I don't know how other prisons work, but there's a body sack, something that they have to do to you before they put you in. But even how they do it to them is very dehumanizing. Some of them have been beaten. Some of them have been sexually violated. For trans people, it's worse because they are not sure which cell to put you in. And even when you go to prison, they don't know which prison to put you in. So they will look at you and just judge you based on what they think you look like. and just put you in the cell. So many trans women are in male cells and many trans men are in women's cells. They don't fit in there. Trans women are being violated in male cells. Even trans men are being violated in women's cells. And the police is, I wouldn't even say ignorant, because they know what they're doing is wrong, but they feel it is proper for them to tell other inmates that these people have no rights. So you can bully them and do what you want to them. And when journalists, when people that write, when people that have a voice, have audience, have a chance to write about this, they report different things. No one is willing to come up and, write clearly and put out clearly that this is what is happening. When we as organizations try to figure out a way to organize, we do filming sometimes, like we find creative ways of spreading information. They will not let us. If you, let me say, produce a film, and you have a day to showcase it, please do great. And make sure that film is not showcased. If there are, of course, procedures and standards of how production works, those bodies that license things to be like researches or films to be taken for educational purposes will not license you. So you end up with this film that you cannot even spread out, but you'd rather use it in your own community, yet in the essence that is not even the reason as to why you started that. Websites, I cannot tell you how many times our websites have been hacked, our social media has been hacked. They keep reporting us all the time, and I'm just very appreciative to Facebook for how they react. Usually because they report us, like for instance, our Facebook page just gets reported, I think every 3 months. Our Twitter is always off. They will report and they will say, this needs to turn off, our country does not allow homosexuality, by using it to promote homosexuality. You write to them, they'll put it back. So it's just a constant war of fighting and fighting but we are there. And we are not fine, but fighting is the only way. We know how to survive and we do it anyway.
So it means that in some institutional supporters, like media, like police, like legal situation, everything is, instead of being supportive, they are going to against the LGBTs and coerce. So it means that how can one organization or two organizations like you that are just circulate information through the community? So this is the one of the problem and one of the obstacles that just doesn't let you to show the face outside. And unfortunately, we are talking about media and censorship and everything that we will see that the media and the media streams are using this kind of against the other, yes, to make them silent. So is there any kind of activities toward this, to change this situation or to report?
Yeah, we tend to, so one of the things we've done to try to counter the negative media publicity is beginning our own publishing. So there's a magazine that comes out every year now called Bombastic Magazine. And in that magazine we just share stories, like real life lived experiences of LGBT people. And we distribute the magazine gangster style, because if they find you distributing it, they will detain you. And for me, that is one of the things I always look forward to, because something happened in 2018 that was powerful. We have allies, but even the allies we have, sometimes we don't want to understand them, but we are forced to understand them because their hands are tied. So we have an ally in Parliament that we worked with to, for the first time, have those magazines enter Parliament. So we sneaked in the middle of the night and just snuck magazines into the pigeonholes of all 100-something members of Parliament. And the next day it was news. The Minister of Ethics called and is like, you have to come and pick your magazines, and he summoned all the members of Parliament to bring back the magazines. Many of them did, but I think we gave out like 282, if I remember rightly. 80 of those magazines did not come back, meaning they are members of parliament who kept the magazines and maybe behind closed doors or while hiding under sheets read what was in those magazines. But also the impact of what that has done for community, because now we have parents reaching out to us about their children. We have schools reaching out to us about stories that they read. We have LGBT people reaching out to us. Some have been suicidal, and because they read the magazine, they know they support. But also it has made the work we are doing at home way more visible than it is. We also have people that are artists that are partnering with us on things like photography, film, collective events. There is an event called Nyege Nyege. I don't know what the word means. I think it means celebration, but that event is powerful because it's like an artists' festival, but the organizing committee has engaged with us and made it a space where no one is allowed to discriminate anybody based on anything. And for the first time, this is an event where when you walk at the gate, you will see no sexism, no homophobia, no racism, like all those things, but the homophobia for me is very important for me. And because we cannot be anywhere, like they have shrunk the space so badly for us, we can't even organize. My organization runs a clinic, but even when you have like clinic days where people come to access medical care, police will raid and refuse you to provide medical care. Like it's that bad. And that event, because it's a mainstream event, it's not exactly LGBT, and it has sponsorship of some companies that are maybe huge taxpayers that I don't want to mess with. We go there and just celebrate and lose our minds. I carried a rainbow flag to the event, and nobody could touch me because there are so many people, like police want not to choose out who the gay person is. And so it's just beautiful that such a collective space allows us to just, express ourselves. You can exhibit your art freely, you can express yourself creatively freely, you can dance. Like, it's just a beautiful space. So I'm jumping, but I feel that is something very powerful and that many other people should adopt. Like, how do you work with communities that are seen as against morals of the country, to make sure that there's a space for them to creatively express themselves.
Yes, it's very connected to your work.
I mean, the whole time listening to her, I keep thinking, the slogan keeps running through my mind: stop the war, women's bodies, stop the war, women's bodies, which has been what's going on. Like, I feel like men have waged the war against women. Even in South Africa, right now, there's a high rise of femicide. Women and girls are being killed every single day. They're being raped every single day. Women are dying at the hands of their husbands, boyfriends, even strangers. So no one is safe. And I mean, closer to what I know, women in the arts, in my world, women have been raped, female artists have been raped in the spaces that we consider safe, in the theater spaces that we think that they're safe, in production houses that we consider safe. Women have been sexually harassed. I mean, it's difficult for female directors, female writers to get their work commissioned as a female, just on the basis that you're female. And now, so sometimes in order for you to be commissioned or you need funding from a theater house or production house, then you end up having to sleep your way to the funds. And it's sort of like a known secret. So we know it happens, but it's like, but nobody wants to speak about it because everybody denies it, especially the males. Or if you speak about it, then you get blacklisted. nobody wants to work with you because you're problematic. You know, you don't know your place. As a woman, you also need to know your place, which is to keep quiet. Exactly. You keep quiet. Open your legs and keep quiet. And then the money will keep flowing, and all these opportunities will keep coming as well. Which is quite sad, because I mean, 2 years ago, there was a Twitter war, and everybody knows Twitter because we like creatives, right? There was a Twitter war, and so now these women were speaking out against this director who used to rape women in his hotel room. So he would say, "I'm holding an audition in my room, come," and then you get the job. But then nobody wanted to speak out against that. And when women finally did, most of those women had to be anonymous because they were afraid that other directors will know that they speak out. So then that means that their bread will be taken out from their table. So it's things like that, you know, that with female artists, it's these things that nobody wants to speak about. Being raped in sexual harassment, it's quite scary. For the longest time, my mom didn't want me to be an artist because she said, "I don't want you to end up being another woman." And by that she meant that I don't want you to be another woman that gets raped or that ends up feeling that they need to sleep with the director to get a job. I didn't work for like a year. And when I finally got a job, it was with a director who was emotionally abusive, was also quite, he made these sexual remarks to us in the space, but I mean, all three of us women, it was a three-hander with females, just a female three-hander, and 2 male directors. So, I mean, we all knew that what he was doing was wrong, but nobody wanted to speak out because it was a thing of, okay, nobody wants to lose this gig, so everyone is going to keep quiet and act like nothing is happening, you know? And it's an ongoing thing, it keeps happening. And when I spoke out against it, and I met him, I exposed him on Facebook, and then a whole lot of people now started speaking back to that. Oh, yes, we know. Yes, he's done this. Yes, he says this. He says that. And then it was a thing of, I'm just a bitter woman because now I'm a wife and I'm a mother, so nobody wants to work with me. Yeah,
You're a mother.
because I'm a mother.
Why?
I don't know, apparently that it stops me from performing. I have no idea. I'm still trying to understand as well that how does that make me different from any other female artist that has not had a child. So yeah, it's because we're operating in a very patriarchal system. You would think that artists are very easygoing, you know, that you think that even the men in our world are very open-minded, but most of them are actually closer to patriarchal males. You know, they still operate under the system and they practice it and they enforce it, you know, in the spaces. Now even women are given powerful positions in theater spaces, but as soon as a woman speaks out, then they're fired. Recently now, Mamela Williams was fired from the State Theatre, you know, after only a year or a couple of months being in that position. So you're not even given a chance to actually exercise your right and fulfill your goals because you're also operating under this tight patriarchal system, you know, influenced by toxic masculinity. But nobody wants to say it out loud because everybody wants to work. Artists don't have jobs. So if you sit here and you speak out against these things, nobody wants to hire you because your problems are. You know? So it's those are the risks that female artists face, not having a job. Either you did not want to be touched the wrong way, or you did not want to do what your core male actor said you must do, or you spoke out against certain things that you felt uncomfortable within the space. So yeah, those are the risks in our world, and until recently, I was able to speak out against them as well. I mean, I'm already not working, so what's the worst that could happen to you? You know, and yeah.
When something happened to Malaya after the day she fired, was there any reaction or any collective protest or something for supporting her among artists or among women movements, for example?
It's what I'm talking about. We're all saying, oh my God, it's so sad what happened to her, it's wrong what happened to her, want to stand by her, but everybody's doing it behind closed doors. Everybody is talking to her and talking about her in the inboxes, in their little corner chats, but nobody actually wants to say it out loud where it can make a lot of noise because people are afraid. People are afraid of the repercussions of that, what will happen. It's I mean, unlike Uganda, it's not the law that oppresses us. It's not the media that oppresses us. It's the people, it's the stakeholders within the act that oppress us. You know, the people with the money, the decision makers. That's what's oppressive.
So one of the most important questions that now also we are in this place like safe haven is that how we can think about the safe haven for women at risk in this condition, for example. There is one form of the movements that existed in some of the countries like us, like my country, they have been under the oppression, or maybe in here they are been under the pressure, and some other artistic intervention, like for example you did, but it is individual. And I'm just thinking that how do you think that how we can create some kind of safe haven for women? And it's something that you mentioned is not exactly, as one of our friends said, that there are many things common in other countries, but every context has a specific own question and own solution maybe. But sometimes the important thing is that how we can think about the safe haven and why we are here, why you think that it's important to raise this kind of question, and what is your opinion about that solution maybe?
You know, I honestly think that we need access to safe spaces. We need access to safe spaces, and by that I mean that spaces that will allow women from different creative platforms to come together, women from different backgrounds to come together. Because artists can't operate on their own. They need these communities to influence them and inspire them to create and speak back to. You know, it's sort of like a tennis ball. You know, there's something we give back. So we need spaces where artists, activists, communities come together. You know, these women are in that space, a safe space where women can actually engage in dialogue. Women from different parts of the world, women from different walks of life. You know, like earlier you were telling me about your mother and your girlfriend, you know, women like that have never continued to engage with people who have never been to school, but can be in that space and you know, because you find that we're all different and we're all from different walks of life, but we experience similar things and do the same thing. So now being in a space where we're able to engage in such dialogue and a space that provides also healing, because I believe that art is very therapeutic. You know, for me, when I create, and this is what I create from a place of knowing and experiencing. So I need to have experienced grief. I need to experience pain, and then I create from them. So I use that process to heal. And this is why I do believe that in those safe spaces as well, like it would be about providing a process of healing as well, using art. There isn't anyone that like I can reach. Whereas the music, dance, acting, saw what is it, poetry, or a painting, you know, different artworks speak to different people. So I think just existing in those safe spaces.
What do you think? Because you said that you talked about the safe place that you have been created in your place for many of women. And I just wanted to know that what do you think about this safe area that you need?
Yeah, I'm not going to go so off what she said, but maybe just add something small is we have a tendency of working in silos where everyone is doing their thing, like, you know, these are artists, those are activists, these are, and having experienced the role that art can play in social transformation, I think we need to really go back on the drawing board and focus. Because we traditionally, I was raised in the countryside and there was art all over. And now with these millennials, it looks like art is an elitist thing, yet it is something that we grew up seeing all our lives. I was sharing with you at breakfast, maybe I should share that again. We have a very vibrant women's movement in Uganda. And there is an event that happens like almost every 3 years, which is called the Uganda Feminist Forum, that just brings together women from different spaces in one space to just have conversations about different things, what are the challenges we are facing, how can we support each other. And I remember 2009, the first time I went for the Feminist Forum, people could not even sit with me because they thought being gay is, I don't know, airborne. If they share a chair with me, they will leave gay. It was that bad. Like, I remember at lunchtime, we were just seated as, there was just two of us, me and Kasha, as just the two gay people. Everyone was sitting very far away from us. Even when we noticed at the hotel, they put us at the, like our rooms were the farthest, so that we are not near the other people that we are going to make so uncomfortable. But that didn't stop us, because we know we are women, we know that's our space, and we have to take it. And that's also something artists should do, like, they have to infiltrate spaces and make sure they change the narrative of people looking at art as something just for leisure, but also make people recognize the role that art is playing in a lot of things, like policy change, like, you know, public education. And so we have been pushing, we have been going for the Feminist Forum over and over again. We ended up making friends. And for the first time this year, I convened a panel on the silence around sexual orientation and gender identity. And it was beautiful, because it was a time of reflecting on the growth that has happened for so many women and what has changed over the time and how their mindsets have changed. But then also, there was a section on wellness and self-care that was organized by feminist artists. So it was just this small hub where there was just beautiful art and beautiful clothes, and, you know, if you needed to relax, if you needed to do some yoga, if you needed to do some exercise, you would just go in there. And very many people at the end of the forum gave feedback about how it felt for them to be in that space, how they now appreciate art in a totally different way, how some of them ended up buying art. They had very basic walls. Now they were thinking of, like, maybe I should buy this art piece and put it in my house. And when I put this art piece in my house, someone will come and ask, what's that art piece about? And I'll be able to explain to them, this is about violence against women, and then maybe we can start a conversation about women. My organization, we have members that are artists, that draw their pain, that draw discrimination. People bought that art. One of them, who is now a very good friend of mine, is a pastor. And she bought a very beautiful art piece about, so this art was about corrective rape, like someone whose family had arranged a rape for them when they went for a burial. And she bought it because someone explained to her what the story is about. And now it changed her mindset, because for her idea of rape did not allow her to understand that even as queer women, we are affected by rape the same way that a cisgender woman would be affected. So basically what I'm trying to say is we should stop working in silos. We should stop, like, this is my thing, this is their thing, and just be able to work together. If you're in office, bring your art to your office. You'll see artists who have two lives. Like maybe they're a doctor and they're an artist, and when they're in hospital, they are totally a different person. Then over the weekend, they're an artist. So how do we bring the art, the culture, to our spaces, to our everyday lives? Wherever it is, make sure that people appreciate it and understand that it can be used to create change.
Do we have time for more questions?
We've got a good 7 minutes to go.
Okay, just I try to give the last question and then maybe audience if they have any questions. Thank you so much for the most important point that you mentioned. When it comes to the solidarity, because we have many common problems and we have many different kinds of struggling, different kinds of challenges, but when it comes to the solidarity with different women also in other world, other countries. And do you think that how we can just develop this kind of feminist forums, as you mentioned? For example, most of the time when it comes to the solidarity, this name has been manipulated a lot. It's like sign a petition online, or just to have a charity to give help to people or women and children, something like that. But how is the important role of the solidarity if you wanted to keep it as the political action and political manifest in this form of area that make a connection between us, between other women in Africa, in other country, other continent, that to make us more powerful and strong against this kind of work.
The role of solidarity. So I think solidarity inspires people to be creative, and that is what we aspire with. Like each of us has a creative side, and that is something so many people do not know. So when we stand with, I'm going to give an example. There's Danson mentioned it earlier. There's a writer, a poet, a professor called Stella Nyanzi, and she uses poetry and satire to just talk about different issues. She has spoken against the government. She has talked about discrimination against LGBT, like so many things. And the last article she wrote, the last poem she wrote that landed her in trouble is she tends to use like deep, vulgar language to show the ugliness of situation. And I have read her poems, and just how she describes something instills a lot of disgust in you that it makes you begin paying attention to things. So the last article she wrote, she called the president a pair of buttocks, and his fragile masculinity took that so personally, so she ended up in jail for calling the president a pair of buttocks. But I have been following. So she has this huge following of people that, come and comment and, share their views. But I've just been following what has that come out for us as young activists that are organizing, as young women that are organizing. And she's in jail now, but that article and everything that ended up happening as a result of that article has just groomed a breed of young feminist writers that are doing the same work she's doing, but now maybe paying more attention to digital safety and digital security. How do you write articles and stay anonymous online? But just how that inspired people. Many people have ended up copying the way she writes, and it's beautiful. Yeah, so solidarity just, inspires people to be creative. When we stand with other people, we can speak for them when they're not able to speak for themselves anymore.
Yeah, I'm going to say it again, just creating a safety net. Women who need to come together from all walks of life. Activists, artists, just the next women on the streets, and create a safety net for these different types of women and for our girls, more than anything, because I think we're neglecting, and this is what I said to you yesterday, that we when we're focusing so much, I think this is I'm sorry, but this is one of the problems that I have with the term feminist activism. That we end up focusing on feminist activism and neglect to think about our young boys. Because for me, the problem stems from us neglecting our boys. You don't just try to change the mind of an adult. You don't try to inspire an adult to change for the better and to see you as a woman, to see you woman as an equal or as a human being. It starts from when they're small. It starts from when they're young boys. So now, how do we now neglect all of these young boys? What happens to them? Because if we don't start grooming our young boys, even in our solidarity, if we don't start bringing them into the spaces with us and our young girls, they're going to turn out to be these men that have fragile masculinity, that very patriarchal, that are doing all these violent acts on women and not providing safe spaces for women. So for me, it really does go back to bring in the person on the street and our young boys and our young girls, not only focusing on us artists and us activists and coming together, but why don't we go into our communities and bring in these people, bring in with them? Because if you're active in something, then you understand it better. You understand it better, as opposed to us just being in the forefront. And okay, this is what I'm going to show you. This is a banner, and it's saying, "Stop the war on women's bodies." Then we are us, and then it's them, instead of everyone being together. Yes. So I think for me that's what is important with solidarity. We need to stop this us and them.
Very important point. Of course, when it comes to the women issues, when we talk about collaboration, so when it comes to the women, collaboration or to having together is not enough, maybe. Is to make it how to connection, to disconnection, as you mentioned. Because otherwise it would be some kind of conference, women come and just see each other and then disappear. So this is something that maybe is very important. So do you have any question or, yeah?
Thank you. Yeah, my question directly to actually go to Nomathamsanqa.
It's fine.
It's a difficult South African name. Now, yesterday I watched with a lot of curiosity and interest when you were performing the genocide of flowers. And I realized that in that performance, you were there. Of course, later I did have a very brief interview with you, and you were actually telling me it was best. That narrative was based on a true story of a young boy who was murdered for allegedly stealing a sunflower. Okay? And so you created that piece that you performed yesterday. But what I noticed was that you were there, of course, silently expressing, those levels of grieving, anger and then acceptance. You didn't talk. Most of the talking was actually done by your co-artist. And I was just looking at it. That do you not look at it actually like me, that is actually the silencing of the female voice? Because we have two actors. We have a woman and we have a gentleman. But the woman is actually performing and she expresses a lot. She's talking a lot, but she's not expressing anything. Silence. Unless, of course, if you want to say silence as a language of grief. But I was just wondering, why would you not talk? Because even in the African context, men were not supposed to cry or speak in death. It is women who would actually be wailing and singing.
Yeah, I think if we could get the answer in the second question.
Okay, from what I I think I had. The question was, why was I silent, and then why was the male performer verbal?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was not silent though. Just because I did not use my words, it does not mean that I was silent. I speak for my body, and for me, that is my strength. And that's why I choose. Because Genocide of Flowers is actually not Opa Sibego's work, but it's my work. And then so I now had to, what was interesting, because I was telling Parvin about Genocide of Flowers. I created Genocide of Flowers 2 years ago. And when I created Genocide of Flowers, it was a solo work piece for my honors research project at the University of Witwatersrand. So Genocide of Flowers was inspired by my grandmother, my mother, my aunts, my neighbors, the women that I have crossed paths with. So women are beautiful. They're soft and they're delicate, but they're strong. And they go through, like flowers, they go through different seasons. And but they still bloom. You know, there comes summer and spring and they're blooming. And that's what inspired me to create Genocide. It was to celebrate that, to acknowledge that, yes, you know, there's always this social norms and pressures for women and all these things that women go through, these terrible things that women go through on a daily basis. But we still celebrate their beauty, we still celebrate their strength. And that's why I created it. So now, I decided to take the work and invite Opa Sibego in the work to now bring in a male perspective, because we're still playing with it. It's an ongoing work. As an artist, you never stop creating. It's probably next time you watch it, it will be different. It was to create a dialogue between these two bodies, a male body and a female body. And for this male body, I wanted to, so in the process was seeing how he experiences like a grieving woman, you know, the silence of a grieving woman, the performance, like, because I do believe that in the performance justice, like physically, I don't need to speak. Physically, you can feel the grief for my body. So for him, how does he now reciprocate that, and what does he do with it? So it stems from improv, even, you know, in the space. So for him to improvise, and that's how he responded to the work. Verbally, he used his words because I guess he's more comfortable with using his words. I know I can speak, you know, I can be strong as well, but I love actually being silent, because I know that that's actually something that people do not expect, and that's where my strength can also come out. It's more powerful, that I can touch you without even saying anything.
Last one. Son?
Yeah. Thank you. Jan Nomathamsanqa, Safe News, Norway. I didn't miss your speaking. You spoke very strongly, so thank you. My question is, who to create the safe spaces?
Is it?
Should I do it? A white male from Norway creating safe spaces for females in South Africa?
No. All of us, you know, this is what I keep saying, that we need to stop this thing of she needs to create a safe space and then it's going to be a safe space. I need to create a safe space and it's going to be a safe space, because a safe space is different from me. What it means for me to be in a safe space might be different to what it means to be in a safe space for you. And this is what I'm saying, that all of us need to take that in and create a safe space for us, for ourselves, and more importantly for the little ones that are coming after us, really. I mean, right now in South Africa, yes, with the rise of femicide, and what irritates me is that we keep saying that men need to provide a safe space for us so that we can walk freely. But no, we also need to provide a safe space for us. You know, sometimes us women also are monsters. Like she was saying that in Uganda, there are women that are also inflicting all this violence on other women. It's a collective thing. I really do believe that it should be a collective thing. All of us, activists, corporate people, you know, the government, we all need to work together to provide a safe space for us and for the ones coming after us.
Okay, I think that's a great note on which to conclude. I don't know if Parvin wants to wrap it up, or Gloria, you wanted to say something? Sorry.
Okay, so maybe we can discuss more outside. And I think that one of the important things is that the theme of this conference today, this time it was women at risk. But I think that one of the important things for safe haven is that not to put it as a one theme or one safe haven. It can be part of this safe haven as a intervention to this safe haven to bring more women, yes, and to create more space. I think that this is the form of, maybe this is one of the activities that we can, but it's just my idea. But you wanted to say last word?
Thank you. That's fantastic. Anyway, it's just thank you, because I'm very interested in storytelling, and for me that's my way of creatively expressing myself. When I have a chance, I sit down with people and tell them stories. So thank you for listening to my story.
Thank you. All right, now this is the first